From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, August the 10th, 2017. Israeli security forces demolished the homes of 3 Palestinian terrorists who murdered 2 Israelis in 2 separate terror attacks this year. Border policewoman Hadass Malka on June the 16th at the Damascus Gate of Jerusalem's Old City, and IDF Sergeant Elchai Tahar-Lev on April the 6th outside the West Bank Jewish settlement of Ofra. The West Bank homes of 3 terrorists responsible for the murders were leveled, and a 4th terrorist home was sealed shut in an IDF operation overnight last night, a policy the Israeli government implements as a deterrent to terror attacks. And the IDF has revealed information on its ongoing efforts to identify and destroy terror tunnels still being built by Hamas in Gaza in order to infiltrate Israel. The IDF Southern Command, in cooperation with its intelligence directorate and the Israel Security Agency, uncovered 2 terror tunnel openings recently located underneath civilian homes in the Gaza Strip. They are connected to a network of tunnels all meant to use to attack Israel. The IDF said Hamas has a history of using and exploiting the residents of Gaza for terror purposes, building tunnels and placing rocket launch sites under homes, schools, mosques, and hospitals. The IDF also shared details of the construction of Israel's underground security barrier, which is aimed at countering the terror tunnel threat. IDF Southern Command leader Major General Eyal Zamir said the barrier is a real threat to Hamas, adding, "We hope they don't try to challenge us." The 37-mile-long barrier is expected to be completed in about 2 years. It includes an advanced underground protection system that can detect and destroy tunnels, as well as an above-ground metal fence with sensors. On the anniversary of a deadly attack in France, French Jews are calling for the extradition of 3 Palestinians suspected of being responsible for it. CRIF, which is the umbrella group of French Jewish communities and organizations, issued a statement yesterday, August the 9th, 35 years to the day of the 1982 attack on a kosher restaurant in Paris, the Joe Goldberg Deli, where 6 people were murdered. It is considered the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in France after World War II. CRIF said none of the governments where the suspects currently live, namely Jordan, Norway, and Ramallah, have agreed to extradition, and they said France is partly responsible for that failure in their lack of action in the matter. Israel's President Reuven Rivlin welcomed new ambassadors to Israel this week, accepting the credentials of envoys from Mexico, Australia, and Senegal, and for the first time in 50 years from Guinea. Israel's foreign ministry said the appointment of the ambassador of Guinea, Amara Kamara, marks the resumption of diplomatic relations between Israel and Guinea. Ties were severed between the two after the Six-Day War in 1967. And Rivlin also helped welcome a delegation of the National Basketball Association to Israel. The group, which includes NBA Hall of Famers David Robinson and Wayne Embry, as well as several team owners, met with Rivlin and with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem today. During the meeting, Rivlin spoke of the ability of sports to, quote, break down barriers between people from different communities, adding, "In Israel, we are working to build this understanding." Robinson is part of the Basketball Without Borders camp, which begins this Sunday in Israel, lending his years of experience to young boys and girls from around the world. This is the 16th edition of the camp and the first time it is being held in Israel. A blogger for the Times of Israel who is based in Turkey and was threatened with deportation was welcomed in Israel this morning. Nida Amin was born in Iran. She is a writer for the Times of Israel's Persian website. She was stripped of her refugee status recently from Turkey, and she feared she would be sent back to Iran, where she could face the death penalty for her writing. But the Times of Israel turned to the Israeli government, who enabled her to come to Israel. Israel's Interior Minister Aryeh Deri, who arranged for Amin's entry visa, welcomed the journalist on social media, where he had written earlier, "This journalist faces real danger for her life only because she wrote columns for an Israeli news site. He wrote that under these clear humanitarian circumstances, I approved her entry without hesitation. Amin arrived safely this morning at Ben Gurion Airport, where she was greeted by Times of Israel editor David Horowitz. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, August the 10th. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud Study with Rabbi Mordechai Becker. At 7:30, programming from the Union for Traditional Judaism with a look at finding a mate. At 8, author Lucinda Franks talks about her book Timeless, Love, Morgenthau, and Me. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Dr. Aaron Ben-Ze'ev on L'chaim. And at 10, more from the UTJ on marriage. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, a conversation with entrepreneur Jack Hidari. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, August the 10th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.